All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division where we have had a prediction made for a big lightweight fight by Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s former trainer, Nate Jones. And it is about the Devin Haney versus Vasyl Lomachenko fight. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division where we have a bunch of stacked fights that will be taking place in these April and the May timeframe. The first of those fights have already taken place with Shakur Stevenson versus Yoshina that took place this weekend. The next one will be the Gervonta Tank Davis fight versus Ryan Garcia on the 22nd. And after that, Devin the Dream Haney will defend his undisputed championship against Vasyl Lomachenko. I do believe it's May 20th, and I think that is going to be in Las Vegas. And Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s former trainer, Nate Jones, gives his 2 cents on the fight, which is a little different than most people have given. But before I get into those details, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter, thank you so much for your continued support. Really does mean a lot. Thank you. And thank you to everybody that supports and the super thanks to the videos. But let's get into this because I think this is a unique prediction, because it is somebody that is not predicting that Devin Haney is going to wash out Vasyl Lomachenko. Nate Jones, if you're not familiar with him, was in the corner for Floyd Mayweather Jr. for a lot of years. He's a former heavyweight fighter out of Chicago, very knowledgeable in the sport of boxing. Has a channel called The Nate Jones Story, so make sure you guys go check that out on YouTube. But in giving his insights on it, man, he said, look, this is an excellent fight, evenly matched fight. And he said that it is very possible for Vasyl Lomachenko to beat Devin Haney. But what he said was, and this is something that was really interesting because this weight thing, I think, is going to come into play, is he says, look, man, Lomachenko was somebody that early in his career was dominating people, really confusing people. And a lot of that came from the fitness level that Vasyl Lomachenko had early in his career. And he feels like, at least he's implying that he feels like Vasyl Lomachenko's fitness level may not have been lately what it was in the past. And he says about Devin Haney that Devin Haney is maybe the most physically fit fighter that's out there. And if Devin Haney is in better shape than Vasyl Lomachenko, then he'll win the fight. If Vasyl Lomachenko gets in the absolute best condition of his life, then he may be able to beat Devin Haney. He said he predicts a close, he's expects a decision for Devin, but a close decision, which basically means it could go either way. Now, the observation that I think is interesting about that is Devin's weight, because Devin is clearly is somebody that is having difficulty making that weight. And if you are draining yourself to make that weight, you have to wonder whether or not you're going to have all the physical endurance and all that stuff necessary to be in the best shape, in the best shape of your life, right? Now, as far as Lomachenko doing that, I know that he had, like shoulder injuries and different things that, were affecting him, or at least he was saying was affecting him in some other fights. So, those things are kind of hanging out there as well. Also, being 35 years old or however old he is, he's not going to be as vibrant as he was when he was 27, 28 years old. Now, I know that there's a lot of Devin Haney fans that get upset when they hear people bring up the age of Vasyl Lomachenko and all of that going into the fight. And to me, I got to say, look, man, it just is what it is. I mean, you may not like the fact that people say that he's, I don't know, how old is he, 35, 36 years old. You may not like the fact that, or 34, 35 years old, that people say that. But, I mean, it's just the truth. And Devin Haney had had addressed that and said, well, is Terrence Crawford over the hill? He's the same age as Terrence Crawford. If Terrence Crawford's not over the hill, that means that Vasyl Lomachenko's not over the hill. No, it does not mean that. First of all, we don't know if Terrence Crawford's over the hill or not, because Terrence Crawford has been fighting, hasn't really fought anybody. And the best quality guy that he's fought in the last several years was a guy that was the same age as him and Sean Porter. So, just don't know where Terrence Crawford is relative to, how energetic and young and quick and all of that he was when he was 28, 29. But if he's subject to being if he's a human being like everybody else, that happens with age. It's just what it is. That's not make believe, but that's to Devin Haney's That's to Devin Haney's benefit. Now, the big question is looking throughout the history of boxing, that's just what it is, man. Some young fighters come up and they get to fight the older guy. They beat the older guy and they get the credit for beating the older guy, because at the end of the day, Lomachenko may be older, but he's still Lomachenko. He's still a world-class fighter. He's still very capable of fighting. And regardless of whether he was 26, 36, or 46, beating Lomachenko doesn't really say anything about what's going to happen when Devin Haney fights Shakur Stevenson, who is the same age as him, or Gervonta Davis, I think maybe Shakur may be a year older than him or something like that. Gervonta Davis, who is a couple years older, like 3 years older than him, but at the same time is very, very far from being past his prime. So, at the end of the day, I kind of go with what Nate Jones says, man, except for I throw a little twist in it, because I think Devin, in order to win the fight, because it's Lomachenko, is really going to have to make sure that he convincingly wins all these rounds. And if he does that, he should win the fight. But he's got to convincingly win those rounds. I don't think that he can. I don't think that the rounds he can have 5 close rounds, can go through periods of times where Lomachenko is really, is starting to get busy, starting to get work, because just kind of funny how these scorecards will be working, especially in a situation where, he's talking about he's a free agent, is going to be and can be leaving Top Rank at the end of this fight. Really funny things can happen on your way to, on the way to the bank. You know what I mean? So it'll be really interesting, but I like Nate Jones' take on it, the fitness level of it. I think that kind of does get into the age aspect of it a little bit. But again, I favor Devin Haney to win the fight. I would not. But I'm telling you, man, do not underestimate Lomachenko. But the people, it's funny though, because there's a lot of Devin Haney fans that always did discount Lomachenko. So to discount him before, but want to build him up now, it's kind of a funny argument to be making. I, on the other hand, have always said that I thought Lomachenko was a top fighter. I didn't think that he was the best fighter in boxing, or that he was somebody that was better than the best since a young Ali and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, he's a very, very good fighter. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.